Yerrr Hogan here at Battle Club Crow, May the Queen Reign, and tonight I'm wrestling Willow Nightingale. I'm really excited, but don't forget guys, check out the Jobber Tears podcast.
We're gonna sooner or later the remix gonna have to drop. Like y'all gonna stop.
It has to.
Y'all gotta stop not letting me be weird. I worked hard for that. Jobber Nation, welcome to another episode of the Jobber Tears podcast. As always, I'm Janelle from HR. Mr. Black will be coming into the frame shortly. But we do have one of our homegrown support system of the Jobber Tears podcast. We got Big Baby from the Yerrr Sports podcast.
Thank you.
AKA Dre. He's joining us on this week's episode of the Jobber Tears podcast.
You called me Dre this time. You've been calling me Andre like you my mother for like the past 2 months, and I've been trying to figure out why.
It just flowed better. It was more of a serious tone. I think
you would give me serious tones just because.
Yeah, I was. I didn't.
We recorded a whole nother show together. You kept calling me Andre the whole show.
Oh, because it was more like proper. I felt like. So I just felt like it was a different. You know, it was a different episode, so a different side.
All right.
So I felt like it was better. You got your jumping jacks in?
Yeah.
All right. Glad for you to join us. Before we do get started, a few things. Thank you to every single person that did come out to our AEW Revolution viewing party. There was, some technical difficulties in the beginning, but we overcame. We conquered.
Yes, Lord.
Once again, special shout outs to Dre for once again manning and handling the door. He did such a phenomenal job. So it's a good preparation for WrestleMania weekend, I think. But yes, thank you for everyone that did come out. And we're going to actually start the episode talking about the pay-per-view. But before we do get into that, also special shout out to Shane Taylor of Shane Taylor Promotions for joining us last week. It was a dope episode. I have been wanting to interview him for a year and a half. So to be able to check that off my list, my personal list, that was really, really dope. And he was super, super honest, super dope, open, and was just all about wanting to tell his story. So we do truly appreciate him for coming on last week. And then what else? We got Fastlane, the last stop to WrestleMania, coming up in about a week. So once again, we'll be at Legends for that, and then we'll be at Legends for WrestleMania weekend. Well, the boys will be. I will be in Tampa. So make sure if you are in the Tampa area and you do see me, say hi, say what up. Make sure to always show love. While I'm out in Tampa, please make sure to come out and support Faye Jackson's Grace Sweatpants Battle Royal, which is going to happen. I'm excited about that. So respectfully. I got to always remind myself nowadays, I'm like, respectfully. But other than that, what else is going on? Before we jump into some wrestling, how's everyone doing? What's been going on? Anything you want to talk about real quick? Or not? I don't know. I'm trying to think. FYI, anyone that has not already subscribed to Peacock, Peacock is offering, cheap plug, Peacock is offering 4 months for $9.99, their premium, which does include the WWE Network. So if you do sign up, I think between now and I believe it's the 18th. So I think the next week, if you sign up for Peacock, basically you get 4 months. So it's $2.99 a month for premium, which would include everything that's on the Peacock side, including the WWE Network. So I had signed up yesterday, and I was like, got to make sure I get this because I will forget.
Oh, I'm about to do that.
Not getting commercials then.
Yeah, no, it doesn't come with commercials with the $9.99. So basically, it's $2.99 a month, premium, no commercials, and you get once again everything on the Peacock side and the WWE Network. Now, not everything on the WWE Network will be uploaded. They said by SummerSlam, they said 80% of the content should be on.
You believe that?
By SummerSlam?
You believe that?
No.
I would say at least 60.
It took them it took them almost the whole lifespan to get the little tag in a person. I mean, type in a person to find it. It took them almost the lifespan where you could pick a match from the chapters. So you'll think that they get all of them by SummerSlam.
I'd say 60%. Well, they won't have that feature. So there are certain features they won't have.
And that tells you something.
So, but I mean, that's just in terms of the I mean, you got to give a little to get a little. So you can't.
They should have just left the platform alone and say that we're going to have features on both.
I mean, once again, it's $1 billion deal.
ESPN did it. ESPN did it. The app is still available. All they did was put the 30 for 30s and certain, like, all documentaries on Hulu. You still keep both platforms open.
I still think it's a very smart business move, I think, on their part. I mean, when you have $1 billion deal on the table, you got to give it.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not, though. But you are the engineer who's like engineer the apps. Instead of you spending like, oh, how much profit I could get, how about you build like a stable app? And that's why I say to people, yo, we are the currency, regardless of skin complexion. Us humans are. We have the biggest say. So a lot of these rich niggas don't care about us. Simply, that would have been like a lot more smarter move. I'm just saying. Because then you keep wrestling fans happy, and then you bring in casual fans.
Well, wrestling fans will never be happy, though. So.
Ever. Ever.
At the end of the day.
Wrestling fans are happy.
No.
I'm going to explain to you how. Some wrestling fans are happy that they're able to go to indie fans, but be upset how WWE does wrestling. You're still happy over here. You're just not happy with WWE.
But that's still they're not happy.
Yes, you are. You're just happy in selective areas. You're happy overall, but you're disappointed by little things.
But
I mean, that's wrestling overall. That's wrestling overall.
I mean, I think that's just life in general.
Yeah, that's life in general.
Exactly.
So
but
like
a lot
how
of wrestling fans kind of separate life and put wrestling in its own, atmosphere and stuff like that.
I mean, I do think most times us as wrestling fans, we do kind of create our own little bubble, which is just more or less because I think of, when we were growing up, people didn't, loving wrestling was that taboo type of thing. So that, I think, essentially created the bubble that we're kind of in as adults now.
I think a little bit after 2000, that's when the bubble kind of was created, because from the 90s, everybody loved the Attitude Era. Every time you walk around, if you're in the street, you're in school, somebody's talking about whatever Stone Cold or The Rock was doing on TV.
Sure,
But
I agree.
After, once it transitions into a little bit of the ruthless era, ruthless aggression era, people kind of start backing
That's
away.
Mr. Black's favorite era.
Yeah, and I love the ruthless aggression era, but people started backing away slowly once those 90 stars started leaving. So now the bubble starts to get created. Well, you don't know what you're talking about because you wasn't there before. So,
and this is why I would say there's two different type of fans.
Right.
There's more than two different type of fans.
But how listen, is what I have to say. I say what I have to say. If I get a little butthurt, well, you generalize everything, you might just turn it off. I'm gonna say this. Listen, there's two different type of fans: open-minded and closed-minded fan. Open-minded fan be looking like, I don't care. I've been liking wrestling ever since I got make fun of. I played all the wrestling games.
Right.
People, you still watch wrestling? Yes. So you coming over and play SmackDown? Yeah, I ain't gonna front. It's hard. I know it is hard.
You'll come over and play SmackDown, bro.
So I don't want to hear it. It's just certain people. People are not able to express themselves. That goes beyond wrestling. It's a individual things.
Yeah.
And let's be serious. A lot of people in wrestling are kind of like, they just stick to their group. So when someone new comes in and they're not familiar with, they kind of keep them out there because, oh no, blah, 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 this is my wrestling, blah, 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 blah. The thing is about it is, if you want to build new fans, I see why AEW and other wrestling kind of, generalize stuff. Because you have to. Like, some people might say Snoop Dogg was the worst thing ever, but someone else who's casually watching looking like, yo, Snoop Dogg's on here? Wait a minute, Cody got a theme song for him? Cody, who is Cody? Wait a minute, that's my son. That's my boy. Boom, there you go. That's how you bring fans in.
I think to add that is like what AEW did and how they brought a little bit more fans in. Remember the night that the NBA played on a Wednesday night? And then right after there was a late Dynamite. and everybody was watching that, even though they was killing Jericho.
Side note, whoever on Turner Networking that fucked up that audio Wednesday night,
that was
you need to get fired immediately. Like, that's someone's job.
It happens.
No.
No.
Not like
It happened
that.
before. But the thing about it didn't happen on a grand scale like that.
It happened on. It happens.
Yeah, a couple of times.
It happened a couple of times on
A
Raw.
whole
and Vince was,
game in the background.
Do forget, during the start of the pandemic, they stopped wrestling because they forgot to cut off the stream. You forgot that.
No, they did. I don't remember
Yes, they
that.
did. Certain people, everyone saw that. We said, "Oh, we want a commercial." Alexa Bliss and that's the other one just stopped wrestling. It's like, all right, man, we chilling.
Oh, when they did, because they did the split screen.
Yeah,
Right.
And niggas forgot. Okay, yeah.
It happens.
But that, just personally, whoa. Like, that was
It happens.
way too, like, someone definitely should have lost their job off that one, because that
Shout out
was
to my son,
wild.
Nasty Leroy.
Shouts to Nasty
Oh.
Leroy, Nasty Nation in the building.
Definitely. Leroy, you going to Tampa? I'm intrigued. I want to know. Real quick. You know what episode that I caught that typically I don't really care for? The Austin show like that?
Just the
The
straight up Steve Austin.
Yeah, the shit that's off after after Raw.
Oh yeah, I used to
But
wake up to that.
this week's episode, which was the season
it a
finale, was Charlotte's, and it was really good.
I
was
wasn't like I could care less for
fuck.
shark, but that shark boat. Woo!
I like the
How you
Ice T one. I like the
Oh,
Ice T one.
really?
That's the best show to
That
wake up
one, no. So the Charlotte one I liked, and then he had Brett Favre on a few weeks ago.
Random.
It was
Mad
random,
random.
but I fucked with it. And then I think a season or two ago he had
Shout out to Queen Tay. That's one of her quarterbacks right there, Mr. Favre.
He's the best though.
really?
Yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, okay.
I like Brett Favre.
Kind of a dick though, but
Just a little bit.
A lot of it. That's why I'm like, really?
you have to understand that's how quarterbacks were back in the '90s. He's
That's how most football players were in the 90s.
pretty much
Fighting for your spot.
Little
fighting for your spot. Now,
Deion ass was rude as fuck.
I like Deion
And
Sanders.
flashy
I would
as
love
fuck.
to meet Deion Sanders. Just to talk to him like, yo, like you were really out here telling people what they was gonna do, and then you stopped it.
And then, and it was like, ooh. But yeah, I just had to. If you haven't watched this week's season finale of that Austin show,
Yeah.
Charlotte was on this week, and I thought it was a good episode. There were certain things that I totally forgot that, I didn't know she played like volleyball, like I like certain things. I was just like, oh shit. But that shark shit, should definitely be like available.
it is.
Like no, like for like as an attraction, like someone down in Orlando or somewhere needs to invest in that because that's money.
Yo, shout outs to the USA Network in general. Waking up to the USA Network was like a staple of mine growing up because waking up, getting ready for school.
Really, that was your wake up channel?
Doom, 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 doom,
I fucking Mikey fucking. Every day I done spoke to this nigga every morning. It's fucking iced tea in the background. SVU's playing. I'm so fucking over SVU. What was your wake up channel in the morning?
The news.
Really? That's depressing though.
No, we're Haitian.
I mean, it's informative, but still
It's very
depressing.
informative, but
I still wake up to the news to this day.
Really? What channel?
Channel 5.
Okay,
Fox
yeah,
5
yeah.
news.
Fox 5 is
that's the goat.
solid. Yeah,
That's the goat of news
like you
channels
can't
right there.
like yeah.
Mike Woods be on
Weatherman,
there.
Mike.
Yeah.
He's a solid dude. And sometimes they got the dark skin Trafford girl sometimes who's filling. She's mad dark skin. She's cute though. Her name is something Kakenta or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. So I wake up to her.
Fucking doom. I can't. That shit just irks my brain. No, mine's was like growing up. It was probably Nickelodeon. That's why I was asking. I think it's Paramount that has Nickelodeon
Yes, Paramount
shit.
Plus.
Yeah.
I was asking. I was like, because if that shit had like Legends, Guts, fucking, what would you do? Wild and Crazy Kids. Like if it had all that shit, I would probably get Paramount, but it doesn't. It only has like certain movies.
Oh, no.
So I'll
No.
pass on that.
I'll be all right.
Yeah. But all right, let's jump into talking about the ups, the downs, the all rounds of AEW's Revolution. Now everyone always labels me as the AEW hater, and that's fine. But I will say, outside of the Gilbert fireworks, it was not a bad pay-per-view. It
wasn't. It was
honestly,
Really, I
like
the
I
pay-per-view a lot.
genuinely, there were certain things that I was like, okay, this I can fuck with. All right. But let's go around real quick. What are some ups and downs outside of the major down we'll all talk about together?
No, okay.
And then, you know what? I can have an appreciation of them trying to save it this week. Because I think they all like the damage control between Sunday and Wednesday has been phenomenal. I will give them that too.
Between Sunday, after the match between BTE and then on.
See, I didn't even, because, you know, going on YouTube and back and forth is not always my thing. But, Mrblacc, what are some things that hit and miss for you for this AEW's Revolution?
The women's match.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't bad. It was one of those things where this is why WWE kind of does stuff better, and Impact too. They do a better presenting them as athletes. Like, you should have them little videos on YouTube or all their platforms showing that who are these people. Have little clips of them from Japan and stuff like that. Again, they have a hardcore fan base who knows them and follows them. But guess what? You have a lot of people who's a hangover from WWE.
Right.
And from Impact. So Impact, they did a good job telling me who this person is. Tell me who these girls are in the tournament. I don't care about them. But the in-skill ring is amazing. But the presentation got to step it up. You know, that was the only down part. But overall, pay-per-view was very good. I felt that it told a great story from beginning to the end. Like, what more you want? Like, storylines ending it. It was.
It was not, but yeah, like I said,
bad.
it was
So,
not bad. That women, but
that's me nitpicking, though.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
We all have an opinion.
That's
This is what we do.
Yeah, but I definitely see, like,
But that women's
good
match, woo, buddy.
But you need to tell me who these girls are and have a video package. You should have had a big video package right after. It's like, why this person matters.
Right. I can appreciate Excalibur explaining, like, the beef between those two. But for the most part, if I haven't watched, I'm still confused about who these ladies are.
There's a disconnect.
Right.
There is a major disconnect because even, what was it, AEW Dark that week? Fucking shout out to Big Sis, Big Swole.
Yep.
Literally pulled the promo of 2021. And yet, this is what I'm saying. Like how you always say it's the little things. So I was focused on Sis the entire ending of that match. Her facial expression, front row, they positioned Swole perfectly in the front. Her face when both of these bitches ended up hugging each other and like, yay, she was just disgusted. But it was such great storytelling in her face that I was like, no one else is noticing this but me. But that's okay. It's because I love Big Sis. But I just, it got real sloppy at the end, and it just was unfortunate. And then you had Nyla running, then you had Britt running, and I was just like, okay, is this a pay-per-view or is this Dynamite? Like, what are we doing?
It looked like dark when they were running in and everything like that.
I couldn't understand I was like, oh, come on.
Right.
I love the fact that they opened with the tag title match.
Yes, great match.
I think that definitely was a high point to start off. And we'll get into AEW this week in wrestling because it rolled right into that. What else were some good pointers?
So the good, of course, that tag team match was awesome. It was amazing. But I think something that stood out to me the most was the street fight with Darby Allin and Sting versus Team Taz.
You didn't even bring up your boy.
That was such a dope cinematic experience. They got the most out of Sting that they can get without making it look like they were trying too hard.
Sting and the 3 moves of doom.
It was girls.
I fucks with it though.
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin is the man.
He carried the whole thing low key.
He said he had 90% of input on that match.
But you can see it. You could tell.
He's a film director. He dropped out of film school.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell he had creatively positioned certain things.
It was good.
My favorite thing was when they swung him into that fucking
the
window
swing,
shit.
yep.
Yeah. I was like, shout out to Will Hobbs.
Side note, I'm sorry to say, like, there's a real disconnect in wrestling.
Between who?
Because people overseas in Europe and America, because there's certain stuff they don't be liking. I'm looking like, Yeah, they said Will Hobbs wearing that mask. Why he wearing that mask for? I'm looking like,
Why not? That's just
yes, and in the
It's a
culture,
fucking
you do
gangster.
you don't put the black mask in film. You understand? You gotta stand out the most. And
Right.
him wearing that orange is tribute to
for
his,
Team Taz.
yeah.
Come
And
on.
I'm starting to see that there's real disconnect. And it starts to be saying like, yo, I don't understand when they did that camera down the hallway. I say that was a tough camera. When the camera went like a video game.
The Zoom camera.
They
yeah.
said, "Oh, why did they do that?" It's like playing a video game. I'm looking like
That's the point.
That's the point.
I'm starting to think that there's a real disconnect from British, from us
Well,
overseas
no,
and now.
absolutely, and I think that it does also tribute to the different styles of wrestling overseas and then here, because how there's certain people that have the real love and the real connection with New Japan, it doesn't connect for me at all, and it's not
Certain
a
matches do.
shade.
Yes.
Certain
It-
matches-
it's
certain
not a
matches, certain
shade.
matches do.
It's not a I'm just being ignorant and I just don't want to watch something else outside of WWE. It's not that. It's just that there is that level of disconnect where for me it's like, listen, if it's on a grand stage, absolutely. Like when I went to G1, I was just like kind of thinking God on the low that ROH was involved because I was involved, like I was connecting to ROH. So to have the connection of both, I was like, okay, this could work. And so, like, even with now the whole relationship with Impact AEW, I just really wish they stop. Like, I don't
I think.
I don't really like it.
I don't see so much of the Impact's benefit because not many Impact stars outside of the Good Brothers are wrestling on Dynamite. Ethan Page, I believe his contract expired.
Oh, Ethan Page
which
is signed to
why-
AEW.
which is why.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
why
not
he's
an
there.
Impact crossover,
Right.
at all.
So
That nigga basically told Impact to suck my dick, and then he ended up getting
Clearly.
signed with AEW.
Clearly.
So
clearly,
yeah.
so now he can still go back and forth if he wanted to, but he probably won't.
But I agree with you in terms of this. Even with sometimes when I watch NXT UK, I'm like, man, I wish this was on a different day, a different time.
Disconnect.
Right.
Because it being on a Thursday at 3:00 in the afternoon, I'm like, oh boy. That's
Can
a
I give
hard...
you my down though, real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah.
Outside of the women's match, my down is actually the ladder match, and here's why:
You mean the donut match?
the Sonic Ring match. Yes.
The donut, the golden donut.
So here's what it is, and shouts to BK Matt, the Yerrr Sports Show. Shouts to Queen Tay. Shouts to Voice of a Generation, Pete Rosado. We were talking about this amongst each other, and I think the reason why a lot of people who dislike or quote unquote hate AEW is because of the constant shots. Why did you need to have a match with a brass ring? It's a McMahonism, of course, but y'all kept saying it the whole match. Yeah, I can't wait for someone to grab the brass ring. I keep taking pot shots at WWE, and it's not, it's not helping you guys. The match overall was good. I just think the concept of a brass ring instead of something like a contract, a suitcase, something like that. I know it's outside of the box, but stop taking shots because that's all it looks like you guys are doing. Like I said, I watch AEW faithfully every week. I just don't like the shots all the time. It's all the time. So
Okay.
that's my thing.
I mean, what do you think? I wouldn't even put that. That's
Um,
that's an outside of the box thought. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
I kind of
Because-
see it as just like, yeah, I see it that way, but it's like, yo, as a fan, I just don't care. Like,
Right.
Yo, that's the thing. I really don't have the energy for just to be like, I guess I'm different headspace now in life, just in general, because in wrestling, I see it as just like, all right, taking shots, it is what it is. I can just move on from it.
Right.
You understand? But people just taking an extra level, complain. You just say what you say, like, all right, this is how I feel, but it is what it is, though. You feel me? The presentation of it looked cartoonish as hell.
Right.
And him, Scorpion Sky, holding it, like, I feel like I'm in like a Sega video game, like, yo.
And then to
like-
do nothing, we gonna get into it.
Yes, we're
and
gonna
to
get
do
into it.
absolutely.
No, I kind of like that though, because like how that is a build-up. Him losing, instead of him, because if you watch the match, it's little stuff.
He's been losing though.
No, it's the little stuff that Darby been doing. It's the little stuff that Scorpion been doing. And in the match, it was little stuff. He was getting frustrated. He underestimated Darby a lot.
And you also remember he was building seeds to a heel turn anyway
Exactly.
to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
And I kind of want him to get built, and finally, I'm like, Darby didn't need like a longer run. That's why I said that it is what it's good.
Yeah.
But you never know you're gonna drop. But overall, though, you're right. You are definitely 100% right. It's super cartoonish. I was like,
duper.
it took me like, dang, okay, all right, man, dang, like, yes. But overall, though, the ladder match was very solid. But that ring took you out of it because as an adult, you look like you're insulting. As a kid, but as an adult, you look like
you're like.
I'm pretty sure their demographic is literally the niggas at the table, and everybody's gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
We was all sitting there
we was
looking
all looking like, "Okay, what
this is for real. This is
yeah.
really a brass
That
ring."
first of all, it looks like a fucking buoy that you would have summertime in the fucking lazy pool. Like that shit is wild.
It looks like a new ring.
And then what? Yo, that's wild.
New ring.
And then the other part that got me for the ladder match, I want to know if somebody on the AEW side that ever listens to our podcast, I'm pretty sure y'all haven't gotten hip to it yet, but soon you will.
Sure.
I want to know how much Jake the Snake Roberts' check is, because this nigga has to be get paid. Like, he literally was on the edge of the fucking ring the entire match, and I kept saying, someone needs to protect Jake because he's just standing there, and I don't understand why. And then the spot that he did, I said, this nigga's been waiting for the spot to be called. That's why he was on the side. And then he did the spot, and I'm just like, yo, how much is this nigga getting paid to just do random shit? Like,
he probably don't care.
It's very evident that there is no care in the world.
Yeah, he's just happy.
He's healthy. He's good.
Yeah.
It's blessings, but it's just like, bruh.
I think you said that. He was like, yo, it's time to go, Jake.
Yeah, I was like, yo, the wrap it up boxes is very.
But then again,
don't come soon.
Like, it's kind of like he reminded me of Bob Moran. You know, Bob Moran look like, yo, why are you here for? But it's kind of like, yo, some of these guys just got a great payday. And Jake, he's one of the exceptions to the rules because that was like a funny spot. Like, oh my God, you get sympathy for him. And you notice that this wasn't happening when like Lance Archer was on the heel run. Now him as a face, you need some kind of sympathy for him.
See, but that's the thing. I don't know if Lance is heel or face.
He's anti.
Like he goes back and forth a lot, and I don't think it helps the character building at all. Because one minute you're like, okay, Lance, he's here for the good guys, he's down with the team, cool. Then shit like this week when you interrupt fucking Cody, and then you're like, are you a bad guy again? What
he came from the face entrance, so he's a face.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I think.
He interrupted Sting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He interrupted Sting. So that's what fucked me up. I was like,
He came from the face entrance.
And then Jake said Stinger, and then turned and walked away. Like, Jake the Snake is notorious for just mic dropping some shit. And I just was like, damn, I kind of want to be like him when I grow up. Because he legit said Stinger and then walked away. I was like, the fuck was that about?
Sound bites.
Yeah, but it was just
I think they
wild.
And then the clip popped up later on that I saw that they faced each other before. So
I'm pretty confident Jake the Snake has probably faced every single person in that building, including Tully, including Jerry Flynn. Like, the list can go on and on. What other matches happened that we can talk about real quick before we get into the?
How the Lucha Bros be lying to niggas? Talking about how that they can't speak English. Boy, I heard you spoke English. I heard you. You know, shout out to Nicholas.
Ray Phoenix
speak perfect English.
Ray Phoenix is the stronger in English.
Nah, but the
see,
accent's not that heavy.
That's what Wilkins said, and I'm like, no. When we met them, they both were speaking English.
Yeah. Penta act like he can't speak English,
Yo,
but I know he can. But
after that, Nicholas was like, I told Nick, he was just like, yo, man, they speak English. You didn't know that? I was like, you sure? Every time since then, they speaking some broken English that they like Poppy at the store. Like, that's how he sounds. We went them in person. Perfect English. We met them.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Alex. Shout out to them using Alex Marvez more. Again, this is more BTE stuff because apparently Alex Marvez is a heel on BTE. So having him play the heel,
that's what I'm saying.
the heel speaker for Penta, I was like, oh, okay, they're gonna keep using him because Alex Marvez does a Spanish commentary along with Pentagon sometimes. So.
See, but once again, the disconnect where if you don't watch that shit, you don't fucking know.
Right.
Like, they could have, at least they put everything else on the bottom of the fucking screen. They put fucking stats and shit. You want to put that?
You know what? Let's say that because
know.
I think certain people like AEW listens because shout out to Nala Rose. Seriously, if they from other different parts of AEW, yo, Say that. Say that.
That's what you gotta do.
That's eyes from Marvez from BT or Nyla Rose. Yo, if you want to advertise it, step up your editing. Put little clips, just like on old school SmackDown when you come in, the part of the video. Put little clips, highlights of them doing certain stuff on Dark. But as they're entering, people at home show clips. Oh, he's winning here, winning here, winning here. The average of 5 total winning streak from AEW Dark. Put the highlight. Just like in sports. When they show different teams, like in the NFL with college, they show different highlights of him in college in the first game. Do that.
I think my biggest thing with the whole record thing is that somebody can be off, like, again, Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky can be off Dark off Dynamite for months. Scorpio Sky comes back to Dynamite. Oh, Scorpio Sky's been on like 11-match win streak. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Exactly. Exactly.
What?
Why did advertise that?
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they got that new, they got the AEW Dark elevation starting Monday at 7, an hour before Raw, on their YouTube with Big Show, because I'm calling him Big Show still.
Yeah, he's forever
still Big Show. But you know what's so funny? Because I know you don't really care for Jim Cornette and his comments and his antics.
Show needs to change his music.
But it was a clip I had.
It's not.
Jim Cornette had talked about Big Show revealing. Oh, we didn't talk about Christian, so we'll get into that real quick. But Jim Cornette had mentioned Big Show's new shirt that says "No more BS," and Jim Cornette was like, "It was a great dope play on words," and I kept saying, I didn't even think of that. Like, no more Big Show.
You just not thought about that?
No.
What?
I just was like, I took it for face value. I was like, no more BS. Cool. I was like, shit.
No,
that's a shirt. But then when he said, I said, yo, that's actually okay.
That's a dad joke.
He was like, he probably was the one that thought of it. And I was like, probably.
Just like how he sung his insurance back in the day with Jim Johnson. I can imagine Jim Johnson right now. He's like this. Yo, Big Show. You know what I got you do? I want you to do it, Jim.
First of all, why you gave us Prince?
I think he's saying the second version. I don't think he's saying the first version.
No.
That first one, his high-pitched version.
No.
But the second one, I can tell Jim Johnson, yo,
Yeah.
cover that trap.
Come in.
The ultimate
I just
urban
would
legend.
need. I told y'all if I ever met Big Show, that's the first thing I'm fucking.
And I told you
saying.
don't do that.
I don't care.
I'm gonna ask him too.
I'm gonna say that.
He's gonna be like, no.
Like me and Mr. Black are notorious for getting people to say their sayings. Like when we met Road Dogg and he said, "Oh,
there.
you didn't know, yo," but just the fact, like we
I
didn't
took
even,
the picture.
yo, but we didn't even prompt him. Like he just did that shit, and it was just like, so now.
Oh
you know.
no. Black was singing "Getting Rowdy."
Oh yeah.
Black was singing "Getting Rowdy."
Out of nowhere. I was just singing it. That's
Black
my
was
joy.
like, "You didn't know? You better call somebody." And Snoop was like, "The D-O-double-G-N-K, quick, get rowdy." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yo, shit
That
was
was
good times.
Good time. We met
Nyla Rose that night too.
Nyla Rose pulled up. Yo, y'all the Jobber Tears podcast?
I
thought y'all. I was like, oh, y'all in trouble?
Yo, so funny story, and then we'll talk about the new signee to AEW. Funny story. My homeboy Jamie had texted me the other day, and because he asked me when they had super side note, anyone interested in going to WrestleMania, tickets going on sale on Tuesday. They got single day and combo days, so just cheap plug for them. But Jamie had hit me up, was like, oh, so you going to Tampa? Literally the moment they had announced it on Raw, he texted me. And I was like, yeah, well, because, I got other stuff going on, but the goal is to go to WrestleMania.
Right.
And then he hits me up. He's like, oh, because, because I told him why I was going to Tampa for Face Day. He was like, oh, because, you big time. And I was like, no, I'm never that. Like, please, I'm regular. And he goes, yo, I was in a store and I had a Lucha mask on my bag. And the guy had asked me, like, oh, where'd you get that? Blah, 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 blah. So they just started chopping it up. And then they started talking about podcasts. So Jamie had said, oh, I guess, no, the guy had said to him, like, oh, I know this podcast. Guess whose podcast the guy dropped? The Jobber Tears podcast. And then Jamie goes and says, yo, I know one of them. And he said, yo, the guy fucking fan marked out. He was like, what? You know such and such? Like, I was like,
Who's like, what was the store at?
this is the most random. It was in Long Island. Because JB live out in Long Island. But it was the most random thing. And I just be like, whoa.
But I've said this to you in private, and I said it amongst all of us, me, you, Black, and Wilkins, that the reach is crazy. The reach is crazy to
I
where
was like, that shit is beyond me.
It's weird. Like
It's super
like,
weird.
you'd be surprised who knows. Like
Right.
like especially indie shows. Like
Oh, like that guy that was sitting with you at Legends? I totally didn't. I still, low-key, still do not know who that guy is.
That's my guy, man.
Yo, but he's super sweet, though. But he bumped into me, and he gave me that look like I know you, and I gave him the hi. Like,
when I
'cause
looked,
I don't know
like,
who the fuck it is. But
I'm
then,
like,
then when
did I
he...
know him? Like,
And then when he came on Sunday, I was like, wow, like you, either you're stalking me or this is just weird. But
It's just like we all have levels. Like we all
It
have,
was like,
different people are gonna approach us. We tackle different dynamics. Demographics. Wow. Sorry,
Demographics. Gotcha.
Demographics. All three of us. You know, like we're gonna have that amazing reach. Like if you go to like a weed store, most likely the guy listens to the show because of me or something like that. You feel me? Or I probably smoked with him. Dang, that is 99% true.
like,
I ain't do smoke.
even us starting to get a little bit at the Yerrr Sports Show.
Exactly.
I wore my sweater, and someone was like, "Oh, what's up, Big Baby?" I don't know this person. Like,
shit is wild.
the people who call me Big Baby are the people who watch the show, or the people who play basketball with me.
Shit is
about it,
beyond me,
like-
but that's just a test to say, like, listen, if you ever want to jump into this podcast thing or do anything, do it. Like, you never know the type of reach that you would do, no matter what show it is.
I mean, one time I did an episode with Ish and Chris one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that was like
Side note, I probably will see him next week.
we supposed to go to Vegas for my birthday.
Oh,
do
look
it,
at that.
do it.
He
But,
got flight credit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to do this real quick since we're talking about people. Shout out to Andre Martin and his lovely wife.
Oh,
He
yes.
Oh, Andre, that's my guy.
He had me and Amanda on their podcasts that dropped last
What's
Thursday.
your digits?
What's your
Shout outs
digits?
to
Amazing.
Andre
Shout out
Martin
to Andre
Senior.
That's my guy.
The guy,
Because
shout
he
out.
did. We and Mikey recorded an episode this past week, and that's gonna drop next week, I believe.
Love you, wife.
Yes,
What's Your
lovely,
Digits
lovely.
is their podcast, so make sure to tune in and to support them. It's super southern,
Right.
super dope though.
We love them though. Love them
Looking
though.
happy,
And they had asked us
smiling.
some like wow, they had asked us some like hard hitting questions that I was just like I wasn't ready.
Yeah, I wasn't ready either. I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, whoa.
Dang.
All right, but all right,
need a
let's
babe right
jump
now.
into. Excuse me. What you said?
I don't need no girlfriend right now.
Okay, I was about to say. Okay.
Christian.
Yeah,
Christian.
Christian.
So
AEW's new signee.
Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Stephanie Hardy, aka, Mother Dirt Sheets.
Of the wrestling world that had shout outs to her for having Teddy Long.
Teddy Long.
yeah,
That was dope.
holla holla holla.
I know she was really, really excited about that.
Hutchinson.
But
out to Miss
AEW, the Big Show had for a week and a half just about had kept saying we got a new signee, this person's Hall of Fame status, and everyone was throwing Brock, Kurt, CM Punk, of course. Like everybody was throwing names and stuff like that for the past week and a half. And then the big reveal, which really wasn't a big reveal, it was actually very lackluster, but that's neither here or there. Where Christian Cage is the new signee to AEW. So, thoughts on was this a good sign? Does this really benefit like who benefits more? And what's a possible match you would like to see? Because I had went on our Facebook group and I had said, in all honesty, I would love to see Christian versus Darby. Like that's just me personally. But
Oh no.
so what are your thoughts on the new signee?
I have no problem with it. I think the reason why a lot of other people do is because he was just at the Rumble, and I think there's a shelf life to how Vince sometimes sees talent, and Christian is still as an active performer, Christian's probably one of the most underrated wrestlers.
Super.
Oh, definitely, because his
And
running TNA was
His running TNA
Impact.
and we'll call it his running TNA because
TNA slash
TNA and Impact are with two different stories.
Tell that to fucking Moose and fucking Rich Swann, and we're gonna get into that real quick because I'm
But-
confused.
So But his run in TNA was amazing. Him coming back to WWE with a new sense of, like, you know, a new energy helped him out during his singles run, especially with him and Randy when they eventually got to that.
Randall.
So I like the signing. I think he's there for the same reason why Jericho's there still. You putting the talent over. We just saw Jericho get show color and get powerbombed through the table. Jericho took a pin. Jericho took the Meltzer driver on Sunday.
To be fair, the powerbomb into a soft-ass table, though.
It was a table with stuff under it. Yes, we've seen this spot 1,000 times.
Like, it was very, no bullshit. It reminded
no
me.
BS.
It reminded me of when the Outsiders came to WCW.
That looked like
and they powerbomb Bischoff. That's what it reminded me
That looked
of.
softer.
That happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, why don't I remember that?
It was, I don't know
Bash?
if it was.
Was it
Oh,
Bash?
it could have been Great American Bash.
Was it the
Yes.
same? Let's say same episode. Was it the same pay-per-view where Hogan debuted as the third partner?
No. That was actually, it was leading into that because that was.
Was it pay-per-views before? I know Shantice would know for sure.
I don't remember the exact year, but it was right before that.
Yeah.
Because as you remember, Scott Hall entered first and was coming in and blase,
Okay.
and then him and Kevin got together
Right.
and they kept pushing on Bischoff like, yo, we got a third person. Yo, we gonna take over the company. And Great American Bash, Bischoff was interviewing them and it went left. And they power bombed him off the stage. So when that happened on Dynamite, I said, "Oh, did somebody rewatch that?" Because that's all I thought about.
AEW got some.
It's okay. No,
Yeah.
Listen, wrestlers recycle. I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying.
For sure.
I'm just saying
Everything's
that was the
recycled.
first
Yes.
thing that clicked to me. I said, oh, that reminds me when
Alright.
Eric Bischoff got off.
How I feel about the whole Christian thing.
Yes.
Why are you angry for him getting a payday? Like, he went to the Royal Rumble. Reports say that he was cleared for months. Went to the Rumble. He had an awesome moment to close the chapter for WWE fans.
Uh-huh.
So literally, WWE fans get to say goodbye because not everybody transfer over to AEW. And then WWE will pay him whatever he wants because, yo, say what you may say, my Vince, even though he may use you improperly as a legend, he's gonna pay you.
He's going to take care of you.
He's gonna take care of you.
He's going to take care
He's
of
gonna
you.
take care of you. So why not Christian get one big payday, put it in his bank, and then go AEW? He may not get as much money though, but yet if you always listen to Christian and Ed, they always talk about giving back to the business. It's just like a regular job, we all work for regular places, I'm not gonna say where I really work at, this, that, especially not you, but like with me, I work at blank, right? Not fake, no, Nets makeup companies, whatever, right?
Right.
I work at Burger King, right? Now, if McDonald's is offering me $2 more,
They offering the bag. You got to go with the bag.
You gotta go with the bag.
I'm gonna go there. But let's say how that I already killed it at Burger King. But they say, you know what? Burger King will not give me my own store. But McDonald's said that we'll pay you a little less, but you have your own store. If that is my goal to give back to other people, hire people that look like me, I accomplished that goal. So there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I have to tell people, a lot of fans, that's how I tell a lot of fans, like, are you wrestling fans or WWE wrestling fans? Because a lot of people get so butthurt, like, why you going to AEW? It ruined it. I'm looking like, nah, it expands the whole wrestling universe. Just like when Rey Mysterio went to Lucha Underground. Come on. That was a big deal. And he brought in a large audience. The swing matches, the knowledge he installed into guys. So much stuff he did for Lucha Underground. But nobody want to say nothing about that.
Ray going to Lucha Underground, showing us Prince Puma, which is now Ricochet, showing us the Lucha Bros,
Light-skinned Ricky.
showing us Brian Cage,
Having fused with them.
Reintroducing us to John Morrison, everybody.
Let's put it in a sports aspect. Well, sorry, let's put it in the basketball, football aspect.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay didn't say, I don't want Tom Brady over here. No. Oh, word? Come through. Oh, you want to bring Rob with you? Oh, you want to bring Antonio Brown? Come on. They're not going to say, keep that away from my team. You're bringing a winning culture and you're bringing a winning attitude and 2 winning players to improve my program. and he took less money.
You brought up something that I said. Is a culture thing that's important for AEW right now.
Yes.
The bringing in, like I said, Dean Malenko.
Not
even
gonna hold
Jake.
you. I love the fact they do have Jerry Lynn. Not
Right.
gonna hold y'all.
Jerry Lynn, Jake,
Not gonna hold
Sting, Christian, Show, Jericho, Billy Gunn. All of those who've
His
been
sons look just like him. Oh my god.
just
like
now,
him.
yeah.
disgusting.
Someone, you were saying they look like Billy and Chuck.
It did. They did. They
Fighting.
looked like Billy and Chuck this past week, and I said,
They did.
oh.
But
Because one had long
They go in
hair.
places though. Like
yeah,
they
the Gun Club is gonna be.
I just
alright.
like the gun club thing.
But-
I think it's cute.
I think in terms of culture, they are gonna steer the ship as long as Tony Khan kind of keeps an open ear to them. They can steer the ship and kind of keep it like on path, but
Thank
they have
you.
to listen.
So one thing
Thank
that because my consultant is like
Yes.
whenever when wrestling and things like that, like after like post wrestling stuff, my consultant is Zuka King. So shout out to Zuka King.
Bam, sucker.
So he brought up because he's always that like devil's advocate, which is why I love talking wrestling with him. The challenge though, when they bring in guys like Christian.
Sorry, Great American Bash '96.
Okay, see, yeah, but I knew it was Great American
Thank
Bash.
you, Shanties.
The challenge that comes with when you sign, guys that have been in the business over 20 years, like a Christian, like a Jericho, stuff like that. Signing them essentially does take away from a spot for someone like him.
Absolutely.
And
1,000%.
I think that that's always something to think about in the back of heads, because I think sometimes that's why I have the grip of when they overhype certain signees. Like, not to say they overhype Christian being signed, but the fact that you said he could out wrestle everyone. So now you have to position him to where he actually out wrestles everyone.
Okay.
And that, in a sense, does it bury people? Because now if it's just like, and this has been one of my gripes at AEW, is that they'll sit there and they'll promote one thing, and just like how they promoted the diversity in the women's division and how that has gone nowhere. So you present one thing and one idealism, but then the delivery it's not there. So
Okay.
my concern will be you sat there and you pushed him out wrestling everybody. So now are you telling me that him versus Kenny Omega, is he now going to be Kenny Omega?
Now you see, this is why I see why WWE, their market is kids, because you dead overthought that.
That's not an overthought.
Just like if
That's
I'm
not an
coming
overthought.
in, if I'm coming in, like you're gonna hype up your new signing, he could out-wrestle anybody. Taz did it for
That's
Brian
logically.
Cage. Taz did it for Brian Cage. You hype up your man.
No, that's
Brock,
a very
I mean,
and
Paul Heyman
and guess
hype up
what?
Brock.
And guess what? And
You
even
have to hype up your
I
and
don't
the
know.
hype,
Big Show hyping Christian. No,
That's his man's though.
and it's fine if that's what
Jericho's
you're gonna.
his man's too. Jericho
If
wasn't
you're
hyping
gonna
Christian
listen,
up.
if you're gonna hype your man's, it's cool. But just it's not even like WWE's for kids or that I overthink it. It's just logically, it's that what you're trying to present to me is that now, because he is definitely a phenomenal wrestler. I will never
Okay.
take that away from Christian. But my thing is, especially after the run-in they had this week on Dynamite, so now are you trying to position where Christian versus Kenny Omega is going to be a thing? And because of how you presented it, is that now going to be the outcome?
Okay, this is how I see it. I understand it, but anything in life, like in your job, if they bring somebody who have way more experience than you with the same position, you're gonna fold or outwork him, or you're gonna show someone learn from him and say, "Yo, what can I learn from you to make sure that I could get your job or get a better position?" The person may not tell you directly, but you watch them. Okay, cool, and that's in everything in life. Everybody want to play his damn sob story. They want wrestling a certain type of way. In life is not fair. I definitely agree with you. It's the first night, so I don't know. I'm going to give it up into the pay-per-view. This is why I'm not going to say nothing. But it's good because fire, WWE. John Cena insulted Roman Reigns, said that they had to bring me back because you couldn't get over.
I mean,
and
that's
what
a bar.
happened? And what happened?
That was a bar.
Roman, from that moment
And Cena-
on,
and Cena
became
put
a
him-
beast.
Cena
Some
put
of
him
his
on,
best
though.
work.
Cue
And he
the
put
Anita
over mad
Baker,
people.
bro, like-
And he put on mad people.
He to put him on though.
Come on.
Low-key.
So you needed that fight underneath certain people. So my thing is this way. I'm gonna give it 6 months. I'm gonna give it to matter of fact, I'm gonna give it to the next pay-per-view.
May. So May is the next pay-per-view.
Yo, and that's perfect. And until then, I'm not gonna be too. I'm gonna watch it.
I do agree with what you were saying.
We gotta talk about MJF too later.
I agree with what you were saying in terms of learning from Christian, but that's what I'm talking about for the culture. Like, if you're pushing Christian to go for the AEW World Title, okay, there has to be a reasoning behind it.
Yeah,
has to be a reasoning behind it. If you're gonna tell the story, all right, well, Christian's Canadian, Kenny Omega's Canadian. Who's the best Canadian? I guess.
Throwing Jericho right.
Throwing Jericho, right? But Jericho getting powerbombed through
soft
through
tables.
tables and blankets.
Soft tables.
So, but
Baby changing tables. That's really what the fuck that was.
the folding table,
Right.
But
the shit you bring to the barbecue to set up.
I think that, like I said, with all the former WWE talent, they are there to help them, like, learn. The WWE style is the way of life if you're going to be on TV right now.
Yeah.
If you're going to stay on TV, and I love Impact, but if you try not to end up in, like, Impact.
Don't do Impact like that.
I love Impact. I love
do a lot
Impact.
better.
And they've been doing a lot better.
Super facts.
But if you don't want to be there to that point to where now you have to fight and claw and everything
back way
like that.
top, but just do right. Not do it right, but like stay afloat.
Right.
So,
and also money. TNT has the money to do whatever they want.
They do.
Just do the right thing.
Yeah.
I guess time will tell. But I'm glad you have brought up Impact because I wanted to dip into Impact land a little bit because
Only company that get away with the most stupidest storylines, but no one says nothing. Like someone got shot.
Somebody got shot.
but everybody was talking about that though.
Yeah, because somebody got shot on a wrestling show.
That's hilarious.
People usually get hit by cars. Somebody got shot.
That was real.
And somebody
But-
for his inner self on TV.
And then he walked and then decided not to resign because they was like because creatively he didn't get to really do what he wanted to do. It was just like,
But the thing about it was just like,
What more did you want to do? You fought yourself.
What more you do? But
wanna
the crazy thing
do?
about Impact said, before you go out, put your partner over. He couldn't do that.
No, but you know what? His partner is low-key dope. Low-key dope.
Ooh, better than him.
Low-key doper than him.
Yeah.
Like,
Low-key.
what is it? Like, he don't, like,
Josh Alexander?
Yo,
amazing, bro.
Low-key doper.
he's getting better on the mic. Way better on the mic. But yet, I realized that he allowed to be okay, and he has space to get better because his in-ring tells a story.
Demon in the ring,
Oh,
bro.
my. Him versus TJP. Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh.
So in terms of talking about Impact, so if you have not been watching Impact, I highly do recommend just tuning in
On Twitch.
every other week.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
little bit.
Because right now they have it where
2 black champions.
that's-
Dark-skinned brothers.
One is not really a
Dark-skinned.
champion.
Isn't it 4?
One
is
is
it 4?
One is
First
really not
one.
a champion.
Yes, he is.
He's not.
2 weeks ago, he
And
came
then-
It
out.
was
and then-
certified
and
on
then-
Impact
no,
that
fuck
he's a
that.
champion.
Fuck
The
that.
guy said it.
And then, but this is the shit that kills me. You certify him going to the fucking vault, picking up the TNA world title, and then now you want to have a unification match. What? What's the point?
To be fair, did they not
What's
know how
the
long Rich
point?
Swann was going to be out?
Yes and no.
Because Rich Swann
Because they played the injury off super well into the storyline. I feel like they did though.
They did.
But
Rich Swann-
to even take it a step further, so once again, if you haven't watched Impact, they're gonna be having, I think it's a pay-per-view, Sacrifice, where you have Moose versus Rich Swann for the unification of the Impact TNA World titles, and then next month
to job out
is
to Kenny Omega. The Rebellion.
they got Rebellion, and the winner faces Kenny Omega title versus. Who the fuck thought that was okay?
They have too much pay-per-views.
It's not even too much pay-per-views. It's just the fact that you now have. Are we really going to sit here and believe that either Moose or Rich Swann is going to win the AEW World title?
I don't think it's for the title.
It's title versus title.
It's just title versus title. That doesn't mean it's for the title.
No.
Yeah. They do
That's
They do
stupid.
title versus title on Raw. Like every other month.
But the thing is, are we going to continue to bury the guys that go against Kenny Omega just to prove what fucking point? To just stroke Kenny's ego?
But that's what I was saying before.
That's terrible.
It's like everyone got to lose.
But that's
Everybody got to lose.
bad.
Kenny got to lose at some point in time.
Yo.
And when he lose, gonna be big. Just like in sports, when the Patriots lost to the Giants.
Oh, twice.
Dang,
When the Warriors lost to the
Twice.
Cavs.
it happens.
Shout outs to Stephen Curry for being 3-point shooter. I watched it the other day.
Come on, man.
So random.
3-point champ.
But I had watched
Curry.
it, and because they had it on YouTube in the 4K, which was dope. And he won. I was like, shit.
You know what? All of them, the NBA's been using like different cameras since the bubble, and the whole presentation just looks.
It's just
crazy.
so much better.
So as the NFL been
Yeah.
using those
Yeah.
super high def cameras that look like. Yo,
But
I'm
like,
okay.
so if you haven't tuned into Impact, just do us a favor, watch next week.
Possibly.
And it's just, but I do like the fact they do have multiple black champions. I'm not gonna hold y'all.
Multiple.
It is very dope.
3.
It is very inspiring. I hope AEW takes a look at that
It's
blueprint.
Tasha and
Oh, that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's 4.
So I hope once again AEW looks at that blueprint because that's just phenomenal.
I mean, Impact been on that before everybody, but nobody want to give Impact.
Impact
credit.
low-key was probably one of the outside of Ring of Honor. Impact was probably the
Impact
other
was
company.
First. Impact was first because they crowned Ron Killings.
Impact was probably one of the most diverse companies that was running.
But the one thing I have to say, okay,
TNA was. Impact is.
You know what the fuck I
Yes,
know.
same history.
Know what the fuck I
Okay,
know.
I'm gonna say this. Yes, black wrestling used to be crappy back in the day, but can we admit that it came far? Like, it's to the point that we had something called Black Wrestling Lines, where he actually have lists every month. The Black Power X ranking
Cheap plug.
Cheap plug.
every
That
month,
we're- that we're a
and it
part
comes
of.
with different people, and each person who's on there are champions of a major company.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
honestly,
no, it definitely has been a lot. It's been a long
yo,
time
it came.
coming.
Yo, listen,
It's come a long way.
can we just like for the moment, instead we complain? Can we just like just be in a moment, and realize that we came far,
Yeah.
and WrestleMania about to
Absolutely.
have 2 black women
Listen,
going at it.
And a black man in the main event as well. Like,
Come on, son.
So
the era of Bobby. You saw that? You know what?
Okay, we
You
got
went
we
from
no,
the walking Armageddon.
hold on, we not there
Whoa.
yet. We gonna get
Fall
there.
from that character.
Because when people, first of all, that Jaws theme song is lit on the low.
Oh, Night Like Bobby Lashley.
No.
You
I
made
didn't
fun
say
of-
I didn't say that.
You made fun of
I
me,
didn't
my
say,
brother.
I didn't say that.
We used to cheer him on.
Actually, you
the
know
walking
what?
Armageddon.
Actually, yeah,
okay, I
she
didn't get to
bent-
do it. I didn't get to do it last week because we had a special guest and I wanted him to have all the shine in the world. So, this is my public apology to Bobby Lashley. I apologize for not being behind you 110%, even though I'm still not a fan 110%. But I am thankful that they have invested in you, because clearly you get GFI, you get graphics and shit now. And to be honest, MVP is really the MVP in all of this. But I will apologize for shitting on you probably the last 6 months.
Last 6 months, the last 3
Actually,
years. What are you talking about?
First came
Come
in.
on.
You
bad.
should have.
Okay,
we
fine.
was at Raw.
That
the
Raw
night
when he
after Mania.
debuted. When he debuted, everybody was marking out, and I was just like, boo! Whatever. Listen, I'm still probably traumatized from your previous run, WWE.
To be fair, he was beating people with a suplex for a while, so I was kind of like,
So, and honestly speaking, I thought with him and Leo, I thought it was really dope.
Lashley.
But I will
Lashley.
say Bobby Lashley as WWE champion is money. It is.
Exactly.
It's phenomenal, just as a culture. I'm not even gonna like put that people gonna be like, is it a black thing? Yes.
Absolutely.
It is a black. I'm
This-
sorry,
yeah,
it
this
is.
time, yes.
I'm
this is a black
sorry.
thing.
It's a fucking black thing. It guess what? If it was fucking Shelton, guess what? It still would be a black thing, and I would
Ricochet.
not care.
Black
Yeah.
thing.
It'd just be a light bright thing.
But the thing
anyway.
about
It's
it
still
is
a black thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about it, they're not. What's that dude's name? Who's getting beat up by the Nation that he joined?
Ahmed Johnson? Oh.
It's not no Ahmed Johnson. Where like it's hard to root for him because
Oh, but Ahmed, fuck
cannot-
Ahmed.
he
Ahmed
sucks.
screwed Ahmed.
no, Ahmed sucks.
Low-key.
So we get behind him. It's kind of weak. Like, damn, can't get behind him. He's whack. Now we have talented brothers where we get behind them like, okay, I could see why.
I mean, Ahmed was over. He just fumbled the bag.
No, Ahmed screwed Ahmed, and that's
Yeah,
just
Ahmed
that. I'm gonna
fumbled
leave
the
that
bag.
It
on
worked,
the
man.
table.
It
But
worked,
Bobby
man. We got sympathy
Lashley,
for him.
though, this
I
is
don't
from
know
Janelle from
sympathy for him. He fumbled
HR.
the bag.
And he almost fucking ended Ron Simmons' career. But that's a neither here or there. But Bobby, on
Good
behalf
times.
of the HR department, we do appreciate you being a strong Black champion during these times.
Strong.
But all right.
And Maroon champion too.
Woo! Okay, so great segue into this week in wrestling because, we had, once again, we're coming off we spent the majority of the episode talking about AEW, which was fine. But Raw this week, baby. And then SmackDown, and like I keep saying, if you do not watch Talking Smack or Raw Talk, those are two hidden gems. Like, if there's nothing else that you watch,
The best.
please do yourselves a favor and just watch those two back to back, because if you miss anything on either show, Raw Talk and Talking Smack definitely gives you that oomph of like what you looking for to know what the fuck was going
I
on
like
in the
Talking
episode.
Smack way more than
I like
Raw
Talking
Talk.
Smack. I do like Talking Smack.
I'm a
more,
SmackDown guy though.
but
so
I think it's more
part of it.
because Paul's on it.
Yes.
To be honest, but it literally, I feel like any person that comes in and like low key pipe bombs on any one of them shows, next thing you know, they're fucking in a title picture.
I
and
think
it's
Peyton,
ridiculous.
if Peyton Royce was on SmackDown and she did that same thing next to Paul Heyman, it'd be a lot different next
But
to
I
R.
actually like
next,
her on
next to
Raw.
R-Truth, and I love R-Truth. But next to Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's there to kind of amp her and kind of gas, put the battery in her back, just
It
to
would've
say those
better.
things, it would have been better. Like I said, I love Truth,
But
but
this
it's
week in wrestling, let's talk about it. We got some new champs. We got the bill. Ooh,
I have my
ooh, you got a grip.
yeah. I got a
Ooh,
little
you got a
grip. I
grip.
got a little grip.
I
Back
heard. Ooh, I felt that.
I
I
like
wasn't.
about that.
I'm surprised. We got some new belts. We have a possible other unification of a belt coming up. So let's talk about it real quick. Ups and downs this week in wrestling. Talk to me.
I don't like that Raquel and Dakota Kai.
I'm gonna
lost the
explain
belt
why.
So quick.
I'm gonna explain.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna explain.
Go ahead, please explain, and I'll
gonna
give you
break it
why I
down.
don't like it.
So, I think for historical purposes, that needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think them winning the first ever female Dusty Cup, I think it made sense why Regal was like, fuck it, we're going to give you the belts. Because some people have issues with people giving belts. And it's just like, they won the tournament. That makes sense.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. Now, them losing it the same night they win it, to me, makes perfect sense. Because if you have been living under a bubble, they've literally been building Raquel Gonzalez as the new, future, soon-to-be NXT Women's Champion.
For sure.
They've been building it for the past year. I don't care what anyone says or thinks. That is what it is. So, her having a tag title in that same breath of being a contender for the NXT Women's title, that's low-key a confliction.
Why can't she be Raquel 2 belts?
No. 'Cause, 2 belts is a little overrated. I'm not going to hold you. Not going to, me personally. 2 belts, you lose, you end up losing focus on one, regardless. Because, look, when Becky won both belts, she literally lost the SmackDown one, I would say within, 2-3 months? Or even less than that?
No, it was the month after.
So, yeah.
It was the month after.
So, like, you do it for shock value. So, that's why WWE, we live in that world of shock value. The shock value, I'm telling you, when I was watching on NXT, and I said, oh, shit, they got women tag team titles, which is perfect for NXT. At this
It fits them
point,
better.
at this point, fucking take the titles off of Nia and Shayna ass and bury those shits. Put them shits in the vault. Because the NXT women's brand, they do better tag teams.
I think that Triple H, him controlling NXT and them getting a second show, will say WWE.
It's gold.
Because I'm really thinking about it, how they present their product. It's a mixture of everything you want in wrestling. You know,
with the production value. of
production.
WWE.
It got the grittiness. Like ever since NXT back in the day when it's only on the network, it always had the like a charm to it. And like, yes, Triple H is a grand example. Like, you could change your future for who you are in the present because he's giving back in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And even him giving people second chances from the main roster, Leo Rush, he got second chance.
Leo had like second and third.
He
low-key.
And I just think that them having a second show, people say, "Oh, it's too much titles." I'm looking like they try to dominate the market, and you see WWE got majority of the money in wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's just like I like the titles, and you breaking it down the way you did. It makes sense now. I didn't think of it that way. I was too much just like, you wasted it. They could have at least had like a match next week.
Everybody was so wrapped up on the actual like match itself because the actual match between them and Shotzi and Ember was phenomenal.
Of course, both matches.
I said, oh shit. I said, oh, they turning the fuck up.
If she's not in one of the NXT main events.
Oh, but she will be because Io rolled up on her ass and was like, I want you next. And that's why I was like, if y'all didn't see that was just plain day sight, what was going to happen, I don't know what the fuck y'all looking at. But that's cool,
though. At least let them hold it for 2 weeks. Because it's still time before WrestleMania. 2 weeks. Because as soon as before WrestleMania season, because like we still in the weird, because Fastlane is next. But at least up until Fastlane, then they could lose it. I'm fine with the storyline. I just felt that they worked too hard. They got screwed over. They won the champion, the Dusty Road. They did mad stuff. Mm-hmm. At least give them a 2 weeks respect for ring.
But see, them losing it the fashion that they did, now there's a sympathy level there. So now you're invested in, even if next week or in 2 weeks they get a rematch. Everybody's like,
I don't think
shit, they should have had the belts longer. That's a sympathy value.
I don't think there's a sympathy value now as much as it was at the moment they lost it. Because after the moment they lost it, now you see, it's Raquel versus Io. Let's go to booing Raquel against this Io's the babyface.
No, because what you're going to end up, what they should do, is because now you got Raquel being in that title picture that leaves Dakota like, what about me? That gives her the opportunity to go heel, which then puts heel heat on her. But then once again, that sympathy, here we building up that sympathy value. That sympathy value is going to go to Raquel. And now you're going to cheer Raquel when she go against Io. And Io doesn't even have to be heel or face. But you're going to cheer for Raquel because you're going to be like, yo, she's been through everything. She went through Survivor Series. She won the tag titles. They lost it the same night. Her best friend fucking turned on her. Everything that's going to add up to that. And then she goes against the NXT Women's Champion. You're not going to boo her. You're not. So to me, and then I think for them to give it to Shotzi and Ember made sense.
No. Yeah.
They've been building Shotzi since fucking the past 6-8 months. And then Ember coming back into the fold. And then now shout out to Ember Moon for being the first ever NXT Women's and NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, which as a black female, let's add that value to it. So like, I think everybody was just too wrapped up in like, damn, they lost him, instead of seeing the bigger picture.
I have a joke for you. You like Ember's hair now?
So, I've been waiting for someone to ask me about Ember's hair for the longest. So, I think whoever's in Orlando must be related to Naomi because Ember's hair has been on point. Them baby edges have been laid and slayed. I'm proud of her.
She's probably eating better too.
I'm proud of her. Cause main roster Ember hair was the struggle. Like that's like
her husband don't care.
That's a problem too. Your husband should care, especially when you out here talking about I love black women type shit.
He's not of the culture. He's so far away from the culture.
Her husband is apparently the emperor of black women. Apparently, that's his gimmick,
shit.
Right? Like shit.
So
he might be racist low key. Like he might be one of the
that's
racists.
Mad racist.
Low key, it's so problematic.
I thought about it. Like he might be that racist
problematic.
where, I love black women, but doesn't mean that I respect them. Or doesn't mean that I respect black people.
So problematic.
I won't be surprised if you came because it was so like clueless. Like, Amber, you're not of this culture, or are you black when it benefits you? Which one is it? Because as a black woman, you said that you can't be wearing that shirt.
He shouldn't even made the shirt.
Made the shirt, period. And like, that's to be telling people, like, black and white, are you of this culture? and people inviting Vince to the barbecue because he made Bobby Lashley champion. No, he did nothing that's of culture. Like, he did it because money. Think about it. We are the
It's
currency.
a little bit of both, though.
Well, the only reason why I said Vince,
And Vince is, to me, Vince is as Shad Gaspar, rest in peace,
I
when
was
he
about to pull that-
did the
say that.
episode and he said that Vince's role model is Martin Luther King Jr. I'm just going to let that sit on
You
the
know
table.
what? I let Vince come to the
table.
barbecue because he made a lot of black people millionaires.
absolutely.
Just because he made a lot of us millionaires, he gave us exposures. And you know what? Besides being so hard on him, is you don't know when his movie comes out. Hopefully, it's very candid. And from what stories I hear from
and
different
hopefully
people,
not a dark side of the
right?
ring. Like,
Hopefully,
Boy.
hopefully.
Boy,
I just want to hear his
baby.
child, how he was child, and like low key, Vince. You don't know what happened to him. And maybe, like, he's not, like, I don't think he's racist. I just think that he grew up in a time where, like, they didn't have as much knowledge as black people as they did. And he created such a world around him that he forget there's a world outside of him. So, is that an excuse? No, but that is the danger of all you do is focus on your goal and that's it.
I mean, I feel like, and that's why I was kind of glad that article, or I'm actually glad Big Show made it, like,
made it known.
known that Vince called him and said what he said and gave him nothing but best wishes and
Exactly.
nothing but, like, listen, I want the best of you. And I think, was it on Cornette's podcast? Basically, I think it was on Jim's. I think it was on Cornette's podcast. He mentioned it too, where basically Vince would tell people, like, give them an offer. Here, like, let's say here, $5 million over 3 years. Boom. Vince would give people offers and then encourage them, like, listen, if you could do better somewhere else, take what I offered you and don't go any lower than that. Like, giving them actual, like, knowledge and tips on, like, listen, this is how you play the game and this is how you do business.
He's a good person. It
And
sounds
I
like he's a
feel
good
like,
person.
and I feel like at times because of the fandom, we don't give Vince as much credit. I think everybody sometimes can be so quick to be like, that was a bad idea. And
People are too caught up in the character of Mr. McMahon and not
I agree with you.
actually the owner
Vincent
of
Kennedy
Vincent
McMahon.
Kennedy McMahon.
Some of his, okay. You know what? I think we see Vince McMahon, we don't see, wrestling is basically sports.
It is sports,
And
for sure.
he is the general manager of his team.
He's the owner and general manager.
Everything.
He's not Jerry Jones, but I almost said it. I was
Don't
like,
do that.
I almost did it.
And
And I had to stop myself because
And-
Jerry
Don't
is
be disrespecting Vince like that.
no right, and I had to stop myself because but it's the same. It's low key the same concept.
And honestly, when you get older, you get more and more stuck in your ways. Yes, do Vince get angry and stuff like that? But then you hear that Jay-Z, a lot of these powerful men do get angry. But then you turn around and then you hear that Vince paid off Vicky's debt that after Eddie died full. Or he created a drug program where former wrestlers or people who never worked for him could go in there and get treatment for that. And before that, marijuana, you could smoke. Vince gave you a fine, and that's it. That was ahead of his game. And then he didn't have to okay a performance center. He didn't know how to okay that, where people who was there before and now could still go there and train. Where there's a hub where the new and the old could meet somewhere in the middle,
Right.
and build them up. So Vince has done a lot, but I just think that Vince get a bad rep because I don't think it come down to color no more. I just think that him as a person gets such a bad rep because he's just so powerful and people hate him.
Yo, power is hate and hate is power. Like,
Because have we
that's
ever
just
heard
what it
anything that
is.
Vince did outside of wrestling? Every news we hear is within wrestling. Every time he does interviews, talk about wrestling. Now, one interview, they said, you know what, Vince? Let's talk about wrestling. We don't know about you. How are you outside of wrestling? Who are you? We need an interview like that.
I definitely think the movie will help in
Yeah,
that.
but again,
But also
it's
too
WWE
as
though.
that, but also too as the individual,
He needs to come.
you
I can wait for his
you
book.
may not you as an individual you may not want when wrestling is such 80% of your life.
You don't want that.
You may not want to say what the other 20%. And also, too, some people may not care what the 20. Like, we at the table might care what the 20%
Because
is.
we care of him as a person.
But there's going to be people that's not going to care about the 20%. So you're only going to hear about the other 80%. So it's weird. But back into this week in wrestling. So yes, Bobby, I hope you accept my apology. Because first of all, that lightning bolt shit, I thought Taker was coming out, and I low-key got excited. Then I realized, like, oh wait, that ain't it.
No.
That ain't it.
You gotta let it go.
I'm not.
You have to.
I'm not. Says who?
Says us.
Says
You gotta let it
nobody.
go.
So yeah, Bobby Lash. I actually thought them opening Raw that way was really dope too. They haven't opened up with a title match in like forever. They're fucking Sheamus and fucking Drew McIntyre on-site beef.
Killing each
wild.
other. I love that beef. Just don't make them tag team champions.
That's hilarious. What else this week?
Right. Please no. Please
That's
no.
hilarious.
Like, just make them fight into the end. Like,
Fight forever.
yeah.
What else? So we didn't get to talk about it real quick, but I do want to put this because I actually low-key got emotional.
What?
So once again, we're in WrestleMania season, and this year they are combining the presentation of both a Hall of Fame class of 2020 and then this year's Hall of Fame class of 2021. And this week on the bump, Shane Helms, aka Hurricane,
AKA Pete Rosado.
You going to Hall of Fame?
so
No.
Molly Holly,
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
is the first inductee
Oh,
into the 2021 class
a
Hall of
legend
Fame
in
class.
her game. You know,
So
my first
low-key
my
got
first ever thick white woman I love
emotional
on TV.
about it because
Hella thick with her hair. When she shave her head, she got hella thick, man.
Are you done now?
I'm sorry. You know, I gotta praise this white
That was
woman.
wild just now.
Yo, she was hella thick. She was like, I could tell that she made some bomb cookies, B. Like that cookie where you eat, you go.
I feel like her
Perfecto.
cookies could have been
Facts.
bomb for sure.
But I could like
Lord.
one thing I respect about her so much is just like she sacrificed her hair. I know it may sound mediocre to some people. It's just hair. Nah. Back in that day, having long hair was your identity as a woman. And her cutting her hair short on some like, I would sacrifice this for the greater good. Come on, B.
So yeah,
Come on, B.
I say I got emotional about it because
She was the first.
she was very underrated,
Super.
and a lot of low-key matches during that time period, she was the only female wrestling with males outside of China.
And Jacqueline.
Molly Holly was always in some intergender
Hardcore matches.
Like
Yeah.
she was tagging with Crash or with Bob. And it'll be against two other dudes, and you'd be like, "Yo, she's the only female on the match."
Chilling.
So, and I feel like that type of recognition, and I don't know, it just was like if you watch the clip from the bump when Shane Helms tells her, like they video chatted her to tell her, he told her that she was getting inducted, and then she got emotional, and I was just like, it's history like this. Her being not only the first inductee, but as the female being the inductee going into the 2021 class, like it's just as a big deal. So I think it's dope. Once again, I think on Peacock, the Tuesday before WrestleMania, the week of WrestleMania week, is when they're going to do the Hall of Fame ceremony, which once again, they're going to include the class of 2020, which included the Bella Twins and included, I think, Batista. British Bulldog, NWO,
Facts.
and then once again the first inductee for the class of 2021 is Molly Holly.
Wait.
So congratulations to her.
The Nation is in the Hall of Fame?
No,
Not yet.
Rock has to go in first before Nation goes in.
I'll just
That's what I thought. For DX, I would think that Hunter would have got in first, but Sean got in first.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
And the reason why low-key they did DX the way that they did was so that China could go into the Hall of Fame. So I saw what they did there with that. So but Sean went in first. And it was the same with Rick. Rick went in first before the Horseman. Speaking of Horsemen, I don't like this talk. I'm gonna tell y'all because if anyone knows me knows I am the biggest Four Horsemen fan in the land. There will be no other fucking stable like the Four Horsemen. I'm just going to put that on the table. So, the fact that this week on AEW, Dynamite, which once again, in its own right, was really good too. Like, NXT and Dynamite this week were solid. Like, you could not tell me, like, And once again, WWE, on the WWE side, creatively, camera-wise, them niggas got that shit down pat.
Audio-wise.
I'm
playing, y'all. I'm playing.
No, but audio is true. That's actually what made me turn from Dynamite because I was just so fucking stimulated. I was like, oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, I was looking for the basketball game.
Yeah, like it just was like in my ear. I'm like looking for fucking Stephen A. Smith ass, and I can't find him. It's like finding fucking Waldo. It was retarded for us. Like I couldn't watch that for that. But towards the end of the episode, they had the Inner Circle's War Room. Jericho just be making up shit. He's just at that level of like, actually, I'm just gonna let you rock out. I'm not even gonna complain about that.
The Inner Circle box in the corner conversation. You'd be like,
Right.
Oh, okay, I guess I'll watch it.
They had a War Room where Sammy Guevara came out too. He was a part of that. And then what happened, guys?
So what happened was that MJF thought that he was gonna turn the Inner Circle on Jericho. The Inner Circle turned on MJF. Then MJF was like, "Oh, I have my own double turn.
Double turn.
Then I have my own stable I've been making. Then Tully, FTR, and Wardlow and
Sean Spears, which I really want him to just cut that fucking hair. Like I just can't.
I don't like the blonde now. You look like Cody Jr.
It's just terrible.
But
tell your
that
man.
faction together is real horseman like.
But it's not.
You know what?
It's not.
If it would have been Cody instead of MJF, I would have been like, okay, I'll do it. You got me intrigued.
No, I'm intrigued actually with the stable.
I am too.
Because I think once FTR lost the titles, a lot of the value dropped. And I really don't care what anyone says. That is just the truth. A lot of the value dropped. And even though I will still say to this day, they should have lost the belts to Young Bucks, but that's neither here or there. And then Sean Spears ain't been doing shit. And then
that tag team match between them and the Bucks wasn't as good as everybody.
It was not.
But
wasn't solid. But whatever. But I think because of Tully being present is what people is giving the whole Horseman like tight light label. Don't do that.
They put the 4 up the other week. And then Arn put the 4 up too.
I'm not with that. I'm with the stable, but the wrestling fan in me that loves 4 Horsemen, I'm not with that.
Wait, to be fair, Ric Flair tried to do that in TNA. Sorry, different company.
Yeah,
TNA. Fortune. That's what it was called.
It was Fortune.
And guess what?
Fortune
I still
4.
wasn't with the
and
shit.
They were all like this and all this other stuff. And
I don't give a shit.
I would think you would like that because it was Rick.
And I didn't like it when Rick did it then, and it got me, and it took me a while to get hit to Evolution low key, because that was like, ooh.
If you look at what Fortune had, AJ Styles, Kazarian, and Beer Money, that's kind of tough.
No, the group itself,
that's kind of tough.
But I felt like they didn't really need each other. Like Beer Money by itself was money. AJ Styles by himself is money. Kazarian's gonna be Zarian, so it doesn't really matter.
It was still a good group, though.
No, it was for the time.
For what it was.
For what it was worth, yes. But was it needed? No. So.
Okay, so a question to you. Does AEW have too many factions?
Yes.
Okay. Do they have too many tag teams?
Yes. But they're the only company low-key that focuses on tag teams. So that's why I don't mind
outside of New Japan that has tag teams.
But once again, I don't have that connected to New Japan, so it's low-key irrelevant to me. But to me, it's too stable heavy to where you don't know who to focus on. like you just don't. And then you have 8 storylines within the own stable, and you're confused as fuck. Like for instance, look at American Nightmare Family. Look at Nightmare Family.
There's a bunch of people in there.
A whole bunch. Half the fucking school is Nightmare Family.
It's all the school is Nightmare
Family.
And
you got QT riding the fence being heel. Where does that leave the stable then? What do you?
Black and
I look at him because he low key is the AEW representative of the Java Kids podcast. So I look at him like, where does that leave us?
It is too much stables.
It's
way too
stables.
much.
So if we count them,
way too much.
the Dark Order,
which I love.
The Dark Order is necessary. Okay,
Which
I'll
I
take that.
absolutely love, and I actually low-key love the fact that Adam Page is with the Dark Order low-key.
Friends with them.
I think it's adorable. Do I think that little snippet of the fucking Molan thing the other night was stupid? Yes.
Absolutely.
But
It makes sense.
it was cute, and I love John Silver. So really, anything he says and does is going to be gold to me. So
you have the Dark Order. You have
you got the Inner Circle.
the Inner Circle.
You got
have
the
MJF.
Death Triangle.
You got Death Triangle.
That's only 3 people. That's
No,
okay.
we gonna count them niggas.
It's 3 people.
Plus the nigga translated now. So good luck with that.
I don't think he's with them. all
I
the
added.
time. Okay.
That's dumb. Then you got American Nightmare Family, which is about
Best
80 niggas. You got Best Friends. You got
Miro. No.
That's
but
two.
they're a tag team.
That's 2 plus
but
Penelope.
plus
wrestling
Penelope.
too. That's
So,
a stable.
okay.
Oh,
Stable.
and you got Big Matt Hardy business.
Yes, the Matt Hardy brand basically,
Yeah.
and with all of them,
Which is
Butcher,
God.
Blade,
Private Party.
oh! And TH2 sometimes.
So we didn't. Once again, the list goes on, and you just get to a point where you're like, where does this end?
And that we were talking about this during the tag team battle royal. The Dark Order has
Dark Order
3
had
tag teams.
8 niggas. They took up 8 spots.
Oh, I forgot Jurassic Express too. They're stable too. There's 3 of them too.
And they don't even let the nigga win. They don't let him win. That aggravates the fuck out of me, low key. Fuck it. What's the boy name?
Marco?
Jungle Boy.
Oh,
They never let the nigga
Jungle
win.
Boy is like
They
the
never let
battle
the nigga
royal.
win.
The
They
final
never-
2
They
extraordinaire.
never let that
Dolph.
nigga
Yeah,
win.
he's Dolph. He's Dolph
He's
right
Ziggy.
now.
He's Ziggy.
Put on great performances and never let him win.
But
Oh,
speaking about that,
FTW.
Yeah.
I forgot about them niggas.
It's
See?
a lot of stables. I guess somebody can put a sip to it, but this is real New Japan like, real classic WCW like, where it's a bunch of stables. Even though WCW just had NWO basically.
And then
North
you got
and South.
then you got Kenny and the Good Brothers. Oh Lord! But actually, going into Kenny, we actually did not touch about because I think it was just that thing that we all been talking about all week. Is the explosion, barbed wire, death match.
The match was good. And
Until.
Wait. Shout out to Nasty Leo. He says, I got a Nightmare Factory jacket and
Yeah, we know my nigga.
I got a Nightmare Factory jacket and the Nightmare Family jacket. I don't know what. Okay, the Nightmare Factory is a Nightmare Factory jacket. When you graduate on a Nightmare Factory camp, before you do the Nightmare Factory showcase. What?
He's telling people. He was basically saying how you get the jacket.
Oh, okay.
Because that's probably how Lee Johnson got the jacket because he graduated from the school.
nah, Leroy's in the Nightmare Family too, though.
Yeah.
No, I know that.
He trained at the Nightmare School.
But I think it probably was, you know what? All them niggas get jackets. I really don't care.
I want a jacket.
Shit.
We have to get like trap jackets with our names on the front.
We're going to put down a list.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it real quick while we do still have some time.
Okay.
Since we didn't talk about it. The barbed wire explosion death match.
That match was crazy.
So
First of all, I can hear you yelling
yeah,
from the bar.
yeah.
I say, Yarly having a good time over here. I don't even know where to begin because
Here's where we begin.
It was a good match.
Right. It was a very good match.
it was shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Here's my thing though.
And I was surprised by that.
If you watched one of the barbed wire death matches from a while ago, probably one of the most famous ones, the one with Terry Funk,
Yeah.
and then you watch this one, you're kind of like, I guess, but you can't do the same things that you can't really like
They
blow
don't do
people
it.
up.
They don't do it.
Nowadays.
They don't do it.
They can't, but
Don't do
even
it.
with the Terry Funk one, no, there was one match I saw
There
where
was burn marks on people's backs.
there's one I saw
do it.
where like I guess they're trying to do it where like the guy won the match and then he grabbed the ref, get like this, cover each other and went boom around the ring.
That's funny.
That's it. And I think that was supposed to happen. And honestly, the match wasn't bad.
The match wasn't bad. I think that there were certain parts where even, because y'all know I'm still going to call him Dean Ambrose, where Dean Ambrose had that spot where he put his foot on the rope to explode it so that Kenny could kick out. I was like, that is brilliant. I said, yo, I fucking love that shit.
He started it.
Right. And I fucking love that shit like
and
that.
that protects the one-wing angel, which nobody kicks out of.
Correct. So shit like that is what I enjoyed about the match.
Mm-hmm.
The ending.
Everyone stood out. Was like, "Oh my gosh, he ran! Get off me! Get off of me!"
The Academy Award goes to fucking.
But he explained it too on Dynamite.
Fucking Eddie Kingston and the Butters for protecting his friend. And then went on Dynamite and said I had a panic attack, and that's why I stood over him for so long. I said, these niggas is really saving the fuck out of this whole shit.
It didn't make sense though, because the vibration was heavy. So
no, my thing is like, listen, I'm all for the imagination. I could get jiggy with it. And they've literally been trying to save the entire match all this week with saying things to cover up what actually happened and what didn't happen.
It wasn't bad though.
It wasn't a bad match.
The
ending
was it? It had everybody was waiting at the bar. Was like when he was like 1, 2, 3.
There was one guy literally got up from his seat, stood up next to me at the bar, had his phone like this to record the explosion because that's what they sold us, an explosion, and they had Gilbert sparklers.
No, the sparklers. I guess the sparkles like a little like the
fuse.
Yeah, the fuse. You could tell, but the explosion afterwards was like, poof.
Like somebody farted.
It's like it was like like if you ever been to a kid's birthday party and they had a clown.
Yeah.
And the clown was like, "This is our final trick," and then that's exactly what that was.
LeBron has more like area of smoke throwing up the powder.
Cody entrance was bigger than that.
Woo! Cody entrance gonna be bigger than anything on AEW.
But
ever.
And I just thought that, you know what? It's probably a storyline. There probably was not enough space between them. I saw a fan video. Mm-hmm. Oh, there was mass space.
Oh, shout out to Mega Ran, because Mega Ran was there and he posted a video. He was literally ringside. Like they weren't so far back from the ring. So that's how I had already knew the jig was up, that the explosions weren't going to be explosions. Like that was that. But it was just like, you guys hyped it up.
I do think there was
actually
I do think there was actually like a faulty bomb.
Oh, they said it was Tony Khan said it was a botch.
I do think it was a faulty bomb, but I'm still curious like how far they would have actually went.
But my thing is like, that
would it look like
for production value, there was so much more you could have did. You could have cut off the lights. You could have the feed could have got cut off.
Yeah.
Like there was so much in terms of production.
If the feed would have cut off,
Tony.
Nope. You know why?
Tony.
Because fans would have fucked that up.
They hate
fucked that all the way
Tony.
up.
But then again,
holla at your girl.
Reason why that I felt that you could still be at safe space because we live in an era where like fireworks are more control.
Yeah.
Where there been times where like
explosions are controlled.
Where Dre was, and I'm right in front of the fire. Like, oh, that's a good enough distance.
Right.
They could have done that. Again, it was just a faulty.
Listen.
And
production. That's my thing. It's not so much of the dub. It's just so much of the damage control that it was just like it's not even believable anymore, guys. Like, come on. Like
they should cut the feed after that.
But
like once did it blow?
Wise, once that shit didn't happen, literally it was and this is what you don't want on TV is you don't want silent feed. There was dead air for a solid 4 minutes. And then fucking JR's ass is all commentary, trying to confuse as fuck, adding to our confusion. And I'm just sitting here like, if you guys
should have cut the feed. Like, once it didn't blow up,
you literally, and then also what killed it was, and this is why having fans at events now is a gift and a curse, because then the video of Dean Ambrose talking shit about the match afterwards, it was like, first of all, nigga, how the fuck is Eddie Kingston selling this more than you? I'm confused. And then when they came together on Dynamite and they were BFFs again, and I was just like, for me, it was just like, in all honesty, if all of that doesn't result in Eddie Kingston getting a world title shot, I really don't.
If
all
if
this
they're
is
gonna do it
irrelevant.
again,
All of it is
like
irrelevant to me.
if they don't do it again, like if I was them, make it a tag team match, and that's the only way to save it.
They're going against the Good Brothers. Next, and I think next week. Yes, next week.
So they have to do something. Well, they're crazy, and the Good
It is
Brothers
what it is.
good for business because they will say, all right, let's do this for business. So I'm looking forward to. You know what?
That's what I'm saying. AEW had, like, once again, has its highs, has its lows. So
Listen,
it's
WWE
that roller coaster
listen,
ride.
Owen
that
Hart died. Owen Hart died, and certain people,
Nah, somebody wild out.
right? But
Other
certain people, reason why that we have sympathy for it, I guarantee you, Twitter was around during then. We would not have sympathy the same way that we have sympathy now, because they humanize it. They humanize the situation. That's all I'm saying. That's all and WWE had mad duds. The list goes on.
Oh,
but
my favorite was when someone posted and said the fireworks that Jeff Hardy got hit with was more than that shit. I said,
It was.
but it was.
It was.
Don't
But
forget
it
about
was.
Undertaker when he got hit by the fire.
When he got burned by the fire.
and
But it
that's
was.
even worse.
Michael Jackson. You remember what Michael Jackson did?
Hell,
Got caught on fire?
Pepsi. Pepsi had to pay that nigga a whole lot. Okay, that nigga was never
Thank
black
God.
after that.
Oh, let's not forget when Vince died and had
Yes.
him back for Chris Benoit.
The limo blew up. Like,
So
Yo,
let's not talk about AEW
But
duds.
Let's talk about, though, how amazing the editing was even then. I can't even. I gotta give them credit for that. Cause literally, he slammed the door, it blew up, but then my nigga reappeared next week because somebody died.
Oh yeah, Chris Brown really died though.
So it was
yo,
wild.
that was crazy. I'm like, yo, how?
That nigga had, but it was just, I want to go back and watch that because literally for weeks, Vince was getting hurt.
Yeah.
And you couldn't understand why. Like Vince, when they was doing that $1 million thing and they was calling, they had the little podium and he was calling people and then the podium collapsed and niggas looked at it like,
The podium
what's
fell
going
on
on?
him. Like
Yo, I wonder, like, where was that
Jesus
leading to?
Christ.
Like,
Absolutely nothing.
Like, was just
No, his brother was supposed to take over. That was the story
it was,
wrong.
I feel like it was absolutely going nowhere.
Listen, that was the initial plan. We just gotta stick to that. Just like how Chris Daniels was supposed to be the guy who's in charge.
he was supposed to be the Christopher Daniels was supposed to be the what's the name? What's his name?
I don't remember the voice. It was some.
You remember? It's me. Also,
Yeah,
it's
that's
me
supposed to be
overall.
Christopher
The
Daniels.
higher power.
The higher power, yes. It's supposed to be Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels was supposed to be the higher
Yeah.
power.
Oh, I'm glad they switched that up. That would have been terrible.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't.
Vince being,
But
that's one of my favorite Raws of all time.
For
Vince being the greater power, no one saw that shit coming at all.
But either way, it would have been good though.
for visual purposes, I understand not Christopher Daniels. But for story,
For that time period,
For
no
that
one
time
even
period,
fucking
no.
knew Christopher Daniels.
No,
in the company.
But
That make any fucking
it's
sense?
something called building up a new star.
right?
Imagine if Christian Daniels became the higher power, and
Christopher Daniels would have been the higher power to the fucking Undertaker. What?
Paul Bearer and the urn, urn, my nigga.
Well, I mean, that's just
He's
magical.
bowing down to him.
That's magical.
Bow
though.
down, my nigga, to this urn.
The
But what
urn
did
was
CM Punk
magical,
did?
though.
Knock it out as a joke.
Yo, that
That's
shit
not
was
the show.
no,
OG.
CM Punk.
So I'd want to hear it.
No, CM Punk wild out, especially because that nigga had just died.
Listen,
That was so.
Undertaker agreed to it.
and Paul Bearer loved it.
Yeah.
But because it was a great story.
But it wasn't tasteless
It was
though.
a great
It was not
a
tasteless.
great story.
Hell
That
yeah.
honestly speaking was probably one of the best build-ups for that WrestleMania 29, which was a dub in itself. So
That
come
was
on,
the best match. That was, the
Hey,
best
that
match.
was the best match on the
And
card.
It should have made evented. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the
I
main
agree with
event?
you, yeah.
Rock Cena?
Yeah, two. The bullshit that I was there for. The bullshit.
The never,
but
never
real-
before, again and again.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
So, yes.
Once in a lifetime. See what I mean? Where wrestling sells you a dream.
So yes, earn and control people. Come on,
I
come
mean-
on, B.
You know,
Come
it was
on,
cool
dude.
back. It was cool back then.
Look at fucking Alexa Bliss.
Oh, that's different.
Every time
That's
she
the same
snap
thing.
her fingers, fucking Randall spitting out black shit.
That's like,
Come on.
Shout out to Papa Shango.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on. Shout outs to Papa Shango.
Listen, as we got older, we realized that voodoo is really for real.
Right.
But I love the storyline though. Keep it going.
Yo, excellent storyline.
Bruh,
Excellent storyline. Keep it
this
going.
is the best they've been building a storyline and just
They've
like,
literally
since Rock Cena.
Literally. I don't know how they're going to bring back the Fiend from being burnt, but whenever they do it,
There's enough months to get healed.
everybody
Yeah.
He's a black
get
woman.
ready.
Give him,
Everybody
shea butter
get
and all
ready.
that. She's probably healing him right now.
Right.
This is a black woman, so he
So-
good. Oh, he's from the South too. So you know those South people got mad
So
healing
between
products.
between the Alexa Bliss storyline, Roman Reigns super mega duper push,
Listen,
Like,
if
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
if
Well, the Hurt
WrestleMania,
Business
if
yeah,
Edge
and her
versus
business, yes, too.
if Edge versus Roman versus Daniel Bryan doesn't happen, someone missed it. You missed the mark. You missed it.
yeah, yes, yeah,
You missed it.
yeah. I can see it. I want Bobby to win at Mania though, for real.
Listen,
Are we asking for too much if we ask for Bobby to win at Mania?
you may be.
But I was then again though,
Maybe.
like so
You may
that
be.
means that
Possibly.
you know what?
Uh-huh.
If Bobby doesn't I won't mind Bobby don't main event.
No, Bobby's gonna main event.
No, if that means sacrificing that for Bianca, for them,
They could
I don't
co-main
care.
event. That's okay.
I don't
Listen,
care.
if all the black people on
I don't care.
one
One
night,
night?
I'm okay
Yeah,
with
I
that.
don't care. I will not care. What,
I
like,
am A-okay
is
with
Bobby
that.
like
Yo,
is
somebody, if somebody go on the chat and talk about WrestleMania night 1 or 2 is Negro night, I'm gonna fight them. I'm gonna go to
Listen.
their house.
Oh, you
Fight
ain't kicked
them.
out.
It's on site.
It's on site.
It's
Like,
Negro night?
But guess what?
Negro
I can
night,
say that
like,
shit.
don't do it.
I want it. Last things. I'm excited about how NXT's been going too.
sure.
That's why I said whoever camera wise, production wise, WWE has it to the fucking T because the pan out from when Finn won to fucking Killer Cross being right behind him, I was scared.
Yo, Cross
That scared the fuck out of me. I was like,
looking
whoa.
like the OD Puerto Rican.
OD Spanish.
Like,
OD Spanish. And then you got Kyle and Adam Cole beefing on site, which is really
on
dope.
site.
You once again you got the soon to be unification of the cruiserweight title. This is what I'm saying. It's the little shit. They had this little nigga in the airport on the phone pulling a promo, and it was believable as fuck. And I was just like, it's simple shit.
Was he defending it in UK?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was
So he
damn good
couldn't
matches.
because
It
of
was
Corona,
Jordan
and
Devlin,
it's
right?
Jordan Devlin.
Yes.
So because of Corona and because of the allegations, but they cleared that up. But mostly because of Corona, he couldn't come to the States. He couldn't defend the title, which was why they even did the fucking stupid ass cruiserweight tournament shit here, and how Escobar ended up getting the title.
Right.
But if you watch NXT UK, he's been defending it on NXT UK.
never knew
So
that.
that's why when he pulled the promo this week in the airport and was like, "Oh, I got lifted. I could come to the States and I'll be on NXT next week and I'll show you who the real cruiserweight champion is." I said, "Oh shit.
So they may be,
Oh damn."
so they may be saving that for
For Mania.
yeah,
Well,
so-
for TakeOver, because now TakeOver
Yeah.
is going to be 2 nights
But,
too.
I mean, like,
yo,
yeah.
Takeover gonna be 2 nights.
So yeah, so we'll lead us
Tuesday,
off.
Thursday?
It's gonna be Wednesday, Thursday. So basically WrestleMania week. It's
not-
gonna start off with Raw. That Monday is gonna be the go home show. Tuesday is Hall of Fame night. Wednesday is night 1 of NXT Takeover. I think it's Stand and Deliver or something like that.
Yeah, stand and deliver.
Some shit like that. And then Thursday night is so Wednesday night's gonna be on the USA Network. Thursday is gonna be on Peacock, which is night 2 of NXT Takeover. And then Friday is gonna be the go home show for SmackDown. WrestleMania will be exclusively only on Peacock. Saturday, I think it's April the 11th and the 12th. Exclusively on Peacock night 1 and night 2.
so basically, if you watch Impact, you got wrestling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Nigga, that's
Friday,
that shit
Saturday,
now.
Sunday.
Fuck. I mean, that's WrestleMania week for
So you got wrestling for 7 days straight.
WrestleMania,
that's WrestleMania
week is
week.
gonna be nasty. Right?
So I'm excited. Any last words before we do sign off?
So we still have this wing challenge happening. So for my client, he wasn't available this past weekend, but he's gonna be available. He's gonna be around for the Fastlane pay-per-view, so you can see him in all his glory.
Listen, I just
So-
want my baby to have a fair shot. That's
So
it.
I'm gonna announce the brackets right now, real quick. We have Mr. Hit him with the wee wee. From
That's a problematic as fuck.
from Two and a Half Bros. We'll be facing your boo boo.
That's how did that happen?
Don't worry about it. I'm a good booker. And then we have Will Dennis, who will be facing Miss Tasha, AKA Black's wife.
Oh, really?
Yes.
She's
Not
joining
my
me
wife,
at
y'all.
that song.
Not mine. Brooklyn Black.
Brooklyn Black.
not-
Brooklyn
not-
Black.
not
Sorry,
black,
Brooklyn
not
Black.
just regular black.
So she will be
Like
facing
coffee.
will be facing Will Dennis. The bracket, the actual graphic will come out sometime this week, if not on Monday. But yes, this is what's going to be going on.
All right. So once again, we'll be at Legends for Fastlane a week from Sunday, where I guess this ring challenge is happening.
This first wing challenge will be 15 wings, so get your stomachs ready.
Oh, Mikey's a fucking garbage disposal. 15 wings is nothing.
15 wings.
I ain't gonna front. That ain't nothing.
Actually,
Well, you just have to finish it before the next person. That's all you got to do.
Yo, 15 wings really ain't nothing. I could devour 15 wings
First
like
of
it's
all,
next day.
right? Like
Fifteen
I could do
wings.
15 wings. The
So
fuck?
make sure your hubby is prepared for the rain.
He does that on a regular.
the
He had
reign-
just got Henny wings from BBQs the other day.
How many?
I think he said he got 10. Well, what's half? Yeah, I think he maybe got 10.
Okay. Well, be
But
ready.
he had did. But when we do Hooters, when we eat Hooters, we get 10 wings, and he devour. He's a garbage disposal.
But
so-
10 wings ain't nothing though.
yeah.
Be ready for the reigning defending undisputed wing heavyweight champion,
Well,
your
that's-
tribal wing chief, Sir Wilkins.
That's hilarious. I dare you guys to make a shirt for that.
Let's make it happen.
But once again, we'll be at Fastlane. Once again, the last stop to WrestleMania, a week from Sunday at Legend. So make sure to come out. And then we will be putting out information for WrestleMania weekend to follow that. Thank you to Big Baby for joining us this week on the Jabba Tears podcast.
Thank you.
And not a replacement of Sir Wilkins,
No,
but
definitely not a replacement.
this is probably one of the few times you've been able to do
I-
the actual show like this.
Facts.
Yeah, I did it. Last time we did it, you were away, and it was me, Izzy, Black, and
Yeah.
Wilkins.
Yo, that was last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
this time So y'all.
That was
got
last
me
year.
on.
Your wife and I, that was a couple months ago.
No,
It felt like it, though.
all because because we've been living in a. First of all, Mikey says we live in a parallelogram.
We
I
do
fucking
live
hate
in a
him. I hate his guts for saying that, but because we're living in a pandemic,
Right.
niggas don't know what's going on. But
Thank you guys for having me.
oh, anytime. Before I let you do your plug of your show, and also, when's the next episode of the Mr. Black Show?
Oh, basically, I'll be dropping my old audio episodes on the podcast feed, so you can catch up. But April, I'm gonna have brand new episodes every week. I like to give them all the details.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soon come. Next week, the boys will be on. I won't be here. But the owner of Battle Club Pro, Mr. Joaquin Mike and Money Morales, will be taking my place next week. So make sure to tune in, and the boys will have a really good old time next week episode.
Joking, hit me up if you want to do a double shot. We record on Saturdays too. So
There you
let
go.
me know.
But speaking of that, please plug in your podcast.
So shout outs to us at the Yerrr Sports Show.
Yerr.
And again, for those who don't know, these two came up with the name of the show. These two came up with the name
Again,
of the show.
Unbeknownst,
I don't remember that.
I remember
Like,
that.
okay, what happened?
I'm gonna let him explain it real quick.
That I was mulling through names of the show because we were trying to find something that
At Janelle's house.
it was a little bit at Janelle's house, and then
I
I
like
went.
it kinda
I
right.
was with. I was going someplace with Amanda, and then you came up with the name. You was like, okay, boom, Yerrr Sports Show. I was like, oh, because you said Black. You and Black were talking about it. I'm like, oh shit, I'm using that.
Yeah.
Boom, born.
It just be just off the fly.
And shout outs to Black for editing our first couple episodes that was on YouTube and giving me the ideas
Oh,
to
yeah,
how
yeah.
I edit now.
Oh,
There
And
you
then
go.
welcome.
Montezi, of course.
Shout out to him.
With the theme song. I hit you up for the remix for sure. But shout outs to BK Matt, the Queen Tay, who is the winner of our Pick 5 and the reigning undisputed champion of the Yerrr Sports Show at this very moment. And the voice of a generation, Pete Rosado. You can find us at Yerrr Sports Show on all social media platforms. Look for our Yerrr Sports Show group page and like page on Facebook if you want to follow me. @_it's Big Baby on all social media platforms. And yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So, once again, not only Yerrr Sports is under the Jabba Tears Podcast Network, you can also find the Mrblacc Show, Satsome Talk,
Yeah.
2.5 Bros, Game Night with Mike and Dali,
Talk of Champions on Facebook.
Talk of Champions. So make sure
We gotta pray
to.
for them.
I'm still gonna get Stan and Shantice on the episode of Game Night. So let's see how that goes.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's been in my mind.
Can't wait.
But once again, thank you.
Wait. Shout out to the Backstage Brawl for having me, Shantice, and Stan for the Black Barbecue episode, man. It was great. We had Dirty Heels. We had Miss Kiki, her fine self. We had a lot of dudes. Like, dang, like I can't believe I said that she's fine, and I don't care. She hears. I don't care. She fine. Queen, you're very fine.
Okay.
And your hair's natural.
All right.
Anyways, shout out to Backstage Brawl. We should do another one. And please please support, man.
Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah, support.
Fellow podcasters. It is super important. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Mrblacc and
Big
Baby from the Yerrr Sports joining us this week. Until next time, #Black Excellence, #we are out.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go with rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans. You gotta wait till your coast chosen. Try to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes & Noble.